Okay, so this is the principle that's going to change your whole perspective and your whole life, really. The principle is accepting stupidity where it needs to be accepted. Now, that's something that can be very hard to do, especially if you have a big ego trip when it comes to accepting stupidity, accepting stupid. But I'm very stupid in various areas. But I understand that, and I can work on them when I have time to work on them. But if I don't understand, if a person is neglecting the awareness of this, they cannot improve. It's like saying the best way to avoid defeat is to accept when you've been defeated, so you can then continue to win or pursue victory, or pursue the right path. It's very hard to expect you to be good at everything. Some areas you may be really ignorant in, or dumb, stupid in, and it's okay. Like, well, it's not totally okay, but the fact that you can accept it means that you can do something about it at this point. If you can't accept it, then you're going to be in a big problem. You're going to have some trouble along the way, because you're going to keep thinking you're smart but you're not, and then you can't improve, right? So, next thing is, you need to learn to accept your flaws, and not just your flaws, but probably your learning habits. Look, there's a way to learn, and I'm going to tell you how to learn, or how to learn this, at least for most people. Some people have different ways they have to learn, but you got to find out what works best for you. Learn is not a bad thing. A lot of people think school is like really bad and, or negative, or it's just not desirable. But what people don't understand is the benefits you get, or the bad things that can come along if you don't learn. Let me give you an example. This is just going to hit it home with you. Let's say, okay, this must happen to you all the time. Let's say you're going on a date and you don't know the dating signals. You're going to be oblivious to what you should actually do, and you'll thus miss the opportunity because you don't know, you don't learn or pay attention or study those signals, what they actually mean, what they do in a certain situation. You may be really dumb in relationships, but that's okay. At least for you to understand that is a good thing, is a good step towards the right path. Look, there's so many areas that you can improve on, so many. But what I found is that we have to improve on what is most valuable to you, or what's most valuable to learn. And then you can kind of sort out other things that you can kind of learn as a hobby, or like that are somewhat important but not that important, at least maybe to the time and situation. It's good to predict, to see what will happen. But for example, I'll give you an example for me and how this has helped me. A lot of people see this pandemic thing as like a huge fallacy, as a huge big problem, big pandemic that we have to overcome. I don't see it as such. I see it as a biblical thing, because I understand the biblical theology on what is actually occurring. Even this on Sid Roth's channel I was watching today, there's this woman who talks about that this pandemic, or the vision she had, was God was plowing the earth. God's angels were plowing the earth so that new seeds can come about for this, what's called the third awakening. And basically people are coming to God. This is the purpose of this, and I understand that, I see that, and to me it's not such a big deal. But other people who don't see that, they're now they're having questions, saying, what does this mean? God, do you exist? Like, what is this all about? I don't understand. This confusion can lead to a lot of suffering, right? Or can lead to a lot of, like, days on the couch, or days on the floor maybe, or if you're going through a tragedy. Some people are going through tremendous tragedies, tremendous horribleness. Families dying, or family die, or they're experiencing sickness, COVID, or the influenza, as Jesus calls it. But as I've been told, this is something you can learn to sort of grasp and make yourself become better. But you see, you wouldn't know this if you didn't hear me or talk to me, or you learn on your own or learn from somebody else about these topics. That's why you go on YouTube. That's why you're watching these videos or these things, because these how to get smarter. Because how to get smart, really, because a lot of people, they don't really know what smart is. They don't know what smart entails. It does include studying, but a lot of it includes, the first part is acceptance. Acceptance of who you are or where you're at and what you need to do. If you think you're the best and you're not really going to improve, right? But if you know that you're not the best in a certain, and especially in a certain area of life or in all life, you're going to have to want to improve. So it is what it is. You have to just learn it. This is just the bottom line. You have to learn it and, I don't know, like, accept your flaws or your failures, and accept your failing attribute, your failure. I don't know how, like, you're a failure in life or something, and that's gonna help you succeed. A lot of people, well, I'm not gonna get into this again, but that's the first step, is acceptance. And what are the benefits of it? You get to then proceed to then act in a certain way to change your fate, to change your destiny, to change where you are. A lot of people say, you can't change the person, you can only change yourself, and that's very true. You can't change the situation, you can change yourself. And then you can probably change how you look at it, or how you, because society and everybody just pretty much operates the same way. There's usually the same things going to go on, and you have to sort of learn how to adapt with it, learn to embrace it, learn to love it, learn to accept it, or to hate it at some points. But it's all part of the process, and it's all part of the learning process, and then eventually mastery in some area or in life. So without further ado, this is the end of this one. If you liked it, anything that I said, go ahead and comment. Let me know, let us know, let the people know, anything you know about this. I would love to hear a lot. I would love to debate on this, or even just learn, or just grasp, or just say no, you're wrong. But whatever, So